everybody. Is that true? You can now hear me better. I'm certain of it, by matter of fact.
You got a lot of wires, David.
Huh?
So you got a lot of wires.
We two many wires down here. We were trying about 3 different things tonight, and that's why that happened. I think I've just solved the other problem. So we'll get back to it. For those who missed, I didn't have anything good to say. Ron was the insightful one here in the program here in the early going. But the Jazz win it. But the final score, 124-123. Let's go through the final kind of plays and the overall. But the overall, really, Ron, is just fight, right? Like, there just were a bunch of times tonight where they probably could have let go of the rope.
Absolutely. And probably if it was another team or maybe even last year, losing momentum like that, it probably would not have been able to put out the fire that the Memphis Grizzlies was putting together out there on the floor. 62% there from the field in that third period, and the Jazz were still able to come out and win the game. Now, there are some things that what did we talk about before the ball game? It's as far as transition, fast break points, and all that kind of stuff. Points in the paint, the Grizzlies had 70 points in the paint tonight. That is huge, and you would have to think that way too many. Fast break points, 26 to 19. Both teams wanted to run. Both teams wanted to get some high percentage shots. But those points in the paint, a lot of those were layups, in transition. That's huge. It was a fun basketball game to watch.
It was incredibly
both
fun
teams
game.
want to kind of play the same way.
Very high transition back and forth game. So let's go down late in the ball game. The Jazz find Kelly Olynyk for an open three that he busts, and they find Malik Beasley on open three, and they're both out of actions, and they're both out of teamwork, and they're both out of moving the ball, and they're both out of being unselfish, and they're both out of no one necessarily having to have the ball late in the game.
Wouldn't have been upset with whoever took the threes, with the guys that they had on the floor at that time. Fortunately enough, it was Kelly Olynyk who's having a monster year as far as shooting the three-point shot, and Malik Beasley, who's a three-point shooter, for sure, 240 three-point shots made with the Minnesota Timberwolves last year, so a lot of confidence with him shooting the basketball. So it was hit the guy that's open and have confidence with him knocking down the three.
And this gets back to kind of the thing that Will Hardy talked about early on. These are guys that have been there before. This is not a bunch of young – there were a bunch of young guys who made plays. We got to get to Nickeil Alexander-Walker and the impact he got. Abaji got some time tonight. But the guys closing the game have played a lot. Clarkson, Sexton is probably the youngest of the group, but Markin and Beasley, Olynyk, they've played a lot of games. Olynyk's played in NBA Finals.
Yes.
These guys have played in important games. They're not overwhelmed by these moments.
Yeah, and obviously because they knocked them down, first of all, and secondly, if they miss, it wouldn't be a bad miss. Come up short. Long, really, just nervous type three-point shots. So the confidence was definitely there for both of those guys that ended up taking the three. Now, Kelly Olynyk's three was uncontested. I thought Beasley's was contested over there in that left corner.
But then he got to do the Beasley shimmy, shake, whatever it is, over in the corner in front of the fans. So that makes Ron's doing it now. Ron, that made the whole show worth it right there. Let's talk about Nickeil Alexander-Walker, because this also summarizes this team a little bit. That he was out of the rotation. He wasn't a guy that was getting time. This is what Will said. Like, you just stay ready. We got a lot of guys, but when we were playing 10, he wasn't one of the 10. He played tonight because Rudy Gay's not playing, because Mike Conley's not playing, since Fontecchio's not playing, and he had his best stretch as a Jazz player.
21 minutes. That's 21 valuable minutes, and he made. You look at the stat sheets, 4 for 8 there from the field. He had 3 assists, although he had 4 fouls and had 1 block shot, 2 for 5 from the three-point line. So he really contributed very well. Picked the pocket there of Baines twice, defending him out on the floor. So it's funny because the first question I'll get from a lot of people, did those guys play themselves into some type of rotation or minutes because of the way they performed tonight?
I think what they do is they play themselves into the coach's confidence.
Yeah, that's
that if the coach needs to go to them, but they're not playing themselves into minutes, because by definition somebody else would have to lose them, and nobody else has done anything to lose their minutes right now.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Thank you, Dave.
What else to talk about? There seemed to be a lot. Markkanen's just tough as heck. Like he's becoming a little bit of the personality of the team to me. Like Sexton's this energy guy who kind of is this endless bundle of energy, somewhat frenetic and out of control a lot of the time. But I think he gives everyone juice, and Beasley's kind of the same way. But like the stoic fighter is Lauri Markkanen. He's almost becoming the Rocky guy, who, with he's just never breaks his facial expression, and he's just battling all the time.
Now, Sexton, field goal percentage, awfully good. I mean, Menace was 31 minutes tonight, 3 for 6 from the three-point line. That line is just totally awesome. He ended up with 4 assists, ended up with 19 points. And so, but Markkanen, even though his three-point shooting is down, I tell you, every time he puts the ball in his hand, you have confidence that something good is going to happen.
How did they get this done without Mike Conley tonight? I'm still not quite sure what happened.
The energy level was so high, and they would have had to rest Conley from, throughout the ball game. Obviously, the rotation probably would have been different. Not so sure if it's really hard to say. Conley would have settled him down in certain situations, and obviously been able to knock down some threes, but I really think that there was times out there on the floor, depending on who Memphis had out there on the floor, that the size of the Memphis Grizzlies with Bain and Brooks, Tyus Jones with his speed, we'd had to pick when Conley was going to be in the ball game.
The one guy I really want to signal out is these are always a little nervous to do after the game because I actually have no recall, and I have to kind of go rewatch games to figure out what happened. Felt like to me every time in the broadcast I said Jazz have gone 3 minutes without a field goal, Jazz have gone 4 minutes without a field goal, Jordan Clarkson scored. It felt like Jordan Clarkson got the most important buckets throughout the night to stem the tide time and time again tonight.
Yeah. You watch Clarkson play, you always figure that something's good is going to happen, or I don't know, he's relentless the way he plays. The type of shots I think sometimes you would think are low percentage shots, but they end up going in, and he has all the confidence in the world. He took one from from Provo tonight. I think it went in, but you think, oh, that's not a good shot, but he's having a great year. I'm really glad to see him kind of the ability to change his game. And really helped the Jazz win.
Finished 9 of 17 shooting, coming off the 1 of 10 night last night. A lot of accolades, a lot of plays. Taylor Jenkins had a great night as head coach of Memphis. Desmond Bain made a bunch of plays. That was a fun game, back and forth, huge transition rate. One number that's worth throwing out there before we wrap up, the Grizzlies finished with just 11 second-chance points. They had none in the first half. That's their game, is that second-chance points. So the Jazz did a good job of stymieing that for much of the night. All right, time for 2 stars. If you're live in our chat room, we have a big audience that's live right now. Feel free to throw in your votes for 2 stars. You might sway Ron or I. Last night we couldn't come up with the second one. Tonight we're going to have a hard time limiting the 2 stars. Ron Boone, who are your 2 stars tonight?
My 2 is going to be Kelly Olynyk, Beasley, because they made the big shots, but Markkanen is again, in the running. Put it that way.
So I was leaning toward a little bit of Jordan Clarkson in there also, because I just thought he made a ton of big plays throughout the night. That was kind of my comment I just made a minute ago. I would definitely put Kelly Olynyk 8 of 10 from the field, 4 of 8. He battled. He had 4 assists, 2 steals, 3 block shots. Memphis only took 4 shots at the rim in the first half of the game. They then pounded the rim in the third quarter. Mike Barton says Booner gets the star. Booner does not get a star tonight because, for 30 minutes, he didn't have to say a word because the game was just going back and forth, and he had no chance to talk tonight. All right, let's see. What about Nickeil Alexander-Walker? A lot of votes for Nickeil. I think we got to give Nickeil Alexander-Walker a star tonight.
How sometimes you get these surveys that they want you to fill out. You got 5-star hotels. 5-star hotel. Okay, we can give out Walker a 3-star, can't we?
No, we're 2 stars a night. It's a tough call. 2 stars a night. I'm going Kelly Olynyk and Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Okay, I'm not changing mine.
All right. Yeah, we didn't say we have to agree. So between the 2 of us, we should have kept track. We could, you know, what we really could do is we could like go give them little stickers. Stars here you are too.
Kindergarten, first
Like
grade, or whatever
kindergarten.
that was. Yeah.
Congratulations, Kelly. Congratulations. Here's your star. Thanks very much, guys. Sorry for the technical thing to start. That was stupid on my part. I have no idea what was plugged in, but the wrong thing was plugged in.
All these new gadgets that he has, he's just
everything's
gotta
come undone. The internet's
he's gotta
undone. I don't know
figure
how
out
we're
to
still
work
on the
them.
air.
He'll
I
get
have
it
no
together.
idea what's going on. But thanks very much. This has been PostCast. We'll talk to you soon.